City Chiefs have won another Super Bowl.
Philadelphia dominated by the Buccaneers.
We all want to be the last team standing.
All that we go through, all that we've been through, even this moment right here.
Saquon's been able to take us to the next level.
And the fans chant.
This is why I came to Philly. The only thing that matters is winning games.
What a season, but it's not over yet.
Quite a season for the Eagles, but how about the season Saquon Barkley has been having for them and the postseason as well? It's been a strong start. He ran for an Eagles playoff record, 205 yards and 2 touchdowns in the divisional round against the Rams. Not going to be easy to do that because pay attention to this. This Kansas City defense is something to keep an eye on. They have been stout against running backs all this season, ranking top 4 in rush yards per game, and runs of 10-plus yards allowed. No running back has allowed for 100 yards in a game this season against the Chiefs, and no player has done that in the playoffs since Sony Michel did it in the 2018 AFC Championship. So a tale of 2 stories there, and help us figure it all out, we've got NFL analyst Damien Woody joining us now. Damien, with all of that in mind, is Saquon, in your opinion, going to finish with over or under 100 rushing yards?
Yeah, I'm going to go over. And, you know, you look at this Philadelphia Eagles rush offense, if you include the playoffs, they've rushed for more yards than anybody in NFL history. This offensive rushing attack has just been totally dominant, led by, in my opinion, their offensive line. They have five humans across the board that are just mammoth human beings. And Saquon Barkley gains 4 yards before even being contacted. So it's going to be a tall task, even with that top rushing defense by the Kansas City Chiefs, to really hold Saquon Barkley down for a whole game and especially keep him under 100 yards rushing.
That rushing defense may be good, but it seems like nobody has been able to figure out Saquon Barkley, able to get it done. Got another cool stat for you that I want to dive into a little bit deeper, because the Chiefs, they've scored 32 points in the AFC Championship, but that snapped a drought of 28 straight games without them scoring more than 30 points. It marked the first time Kansas City scored more than 30 in a game since, get this, November 26th, 2023. That was against the Raiders, and they only scored and won 31-17, which is wild when you think about it, because they already won 1 title since then and now are positioned in a place where they could potentially win another. So, Damien, is this Chiefs offense going to score over or under 30 points in the Super Bowl, even though it seems like it may not matter? They can win even if they don't.
Yeah, I'm going to go under, and that's a credit to this Philadelphia Eagles defense. Vic Fangio pulling the strings of this defense. They were the number 1 defense in the league for a reason. They have elite players on all 3 levels of their defense, but it's the effort in which they play with. You know, compared to last year when the Philadelphia Eagles fell apart, this Philadelphia Eagles team, they all rally to the ball. They're all making plays. They get after you up front with their defensive line. So I know that Chiefs had the great Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, but they're going to be hard-pressed to score 30-plus against that Philadelphia Eagles defense.
The Eagles defense has 10 takeaways this postseason, so you think it's going to be hard to stop Barkley when he's running the way it is, and hard for this Chiefs team to score over 30. So how do you see this one playing out? Who you got?
You think I'm betting against Patrick Mahomes? Listen, you're playing for history. You know, Patrick Mahomes obviously Patrick Mahomes and company playing to be the first team to win 3 Super Bowls in a row. Sometimes you just got to find a way to win. That's what winning teams do. They find a way to make more game-winning plays than you do. So I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, but I think it's going to be close.
The repeat and a little history maybe on Super Bowl Sunday if Damien Woody is right there. Damien, we appreciate the insight. We'll see you back.
59, it's the time where we struggle for things to talk about. So thank goodness for the Kelce brothers. On their podcast, Travis the Chief and Jason the former Eagle got into it about Jason's rooting interest. Do you root for your bro and his squad, especially since you're no longer playing? Watch this, and you can tell by his gear what Jason's going to say, but look at Jason Kelce trying to thread the needle.
I would be lying if I said I don't want the Eagles to win. You know what I mean? I want them to, but I also want Travis Kelce to win. So that's a long-winded way of saying I just want to see a good football game, and whoever wins, I'm going to be happy for that guy.
You heard it here first, folks. He wants Travis Kelce to win.
Is that what he said?
That's what brothers always do. I'm one of them, so I know. Hey, we got a couple of brothers here. Let's take a look at both these brothers have guys who used to play in the pros. NFL analyst Harry Douglas and Jason McCourty. Jason, you won a Super Bowl with yours. So If your brother Devin was in the Super Bowl and your favorite team or your former team was on the other side, who'd you be rooting for?
Well, it's easy for me. I'd be rooting for my brother because all my former teams at some point told me to go ahead and kick rocks. So different from Jason Kelsey, who retired, started with the Eagles. My former teams at some point said, all right, you got to get the hell out of the building and move on to somebody new. But it is tough as you go through all of that. But I'm rooting for my brother. We were down when we were young kids trying to win and talk about all of those different things. So I would still be going for him. And Jason, in his heart of hearts, he's hoping that Travis wins.
See, I feel the same way. Me and my brother grew up best friends.
Yeah.
And I know my father would feel some type of way if I was rooting against my brother. He ain't raised us that way. So I'm not trying to get a spanking at 40 years old.
That can happen.
So in other words, you would be punishing Ryan if he was picking team over family. But we'll see. Yeah. We'll let that one go for now because I do want to dive deeper on Travis Kelce. Obviously, you guys, has had such an impressive career already. But when you look at what he's been able to do in the postseason, the resume, it kind of speaks for itself. Already has the most receptions in postseason history, 206 yards and 2 touchdowns shy of Jerry Rice for first all-time in those categories. He's got 117 yards in the divisional round against Houston, but he is coming off a playoff career low 19 yards against the Bills in the AFC Championship game. So, Harry, I ask you this. Can the Chiefs win the Super Bowl if Travis Kelce has a less than impressive game?
No, 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 no. And the reason why I say that is because the respect I have for the Philadelphia Eagles defense, right? When you look at one of the best units, if not the best unit, when they were playing, the 15-1, that winning streak they've been on, this defense has been vintage. And from their defensive line to the linebackers to their secondary, they have a lot of young people in their secondary. But when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs and their wide receivers, in the secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles, they match up with them. So Travis Kelce has to be the chess piece. You also look at that defensive line and the ability to be able to get to Mahomes. He's going to have to get the football out of his hands quick. We all know about the improvisation by Travis Kelce and also Patrick Mahomes. That's going to have to come up big in the Super Bowl.
And what I love about Kelce's game is sometimes we just look at the stat sheet and we look at the amount of catches, targets, and all of those things, yards. But it's the small things that he does within the game. He can be effective even when he's not catching the football. And against the Buffalo Bills, there were multiple plays in the sense where Travis Kelce is creating the play for somebody else. And that, to me, is what's so impressive. Him right here in the bunch, he's setting the pick play on for Hollywood Brown or Kaiir Elam, which opens up a third down, and now they pick up the first down. Here he is again. We call this mesh. He's running the crossing route, and he's picking Taron Johnson. That allows Xavier Worthy to get open, and that's another big gain. And then in the run game, here he is coming through as a lead blocker right there on Terrell Bernard. So I look at the effectiveness of Travis Kelce and the small things that he does within this offense outside of just catching the ball from Mahomes and making plays down the field.
So many things he does to keep that offense going. He's worthy of cheering for.